origin story, or as I've heard it more recently called, my lore. Now, origin story can sound a little bit like a villain backstory, and although I'm not a villain, I may have played one in my past, jokingly, of course. Um, Hi, I'm Vanessa, and this is Still Rising 13. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how it started, my beginnings in life. And before that, I want to just tell you that what I share with you might trigger you. It might cause you to remember some things or maybe feel uncomfortable with the topic. But I also can feel uncomfortable with the topics because even though I've healed to a certain degree, I don't think that healing is a straight line. I think it's more of like an infinity loop, in that you get to a point in your healing where certain things don't bother you anymore. You get to a healing when things aren't as painful anymore and you start to enjoy life again. But then there's those days or maybe a week where something comes up, a memory or an experience, a situation, and you're kind of right back where you started. So, still rising is just that. It's that I've healed, but I'm still healing, and I accept that. I accept that this is going to be a long term process, especially for as amount of things that I've gone through and healed through, that it's not going to end probably. And part of, sharing my hope and experience and everything with all of you is that you can learn from what I tell you, that my story is not for nothing, that other people can grow strength from that. And I guess that is, a calling for me. And I don't think I realized that until very recently. The number 13 in the name also is significant in that it, for a lot of people, in different circles, not people, the number 13 is associated with death and rebirth. And I would say that I've had to die and be reborn again in different instances. Or portions of me die. Maybe that old traumatic person that was just instinct driven after going through so much, that person had to die in order for this new person to be here. So both of this is just so meaningful to me. And if you have anything to say, please comment, like, share, subscribe. I want to hear from you too. It's not just a one way part when you heal and when you're able to share. It's that hearing from you and knowing what you went through also helps a bit of me heal or to not feel so alone. So I say that to say, for my origin story, it's a little different, and it might be a little bit traumatic, but at the same time, we'll go through it together. I came to this country with my mom illegally. She brought me here with what I can only imagine was probably a coyote or someone that you pay to cross the border. When we got here, she was not able to pay for us to cross. And I'm not sure how that happened or, what transpired. I can't say because I don't know. I do know that the people that did bring us over, they kept me and they were abusive. I ended up being taken away from them, from the police, and placed in foster care. This was at around 2 years old. So I was not aware that I didn't have my parents at that time, but I knew, and I was scared enough to know that I was not normal, that what was happening around me was not normal. Also, I did go through several foster homes, and in the final foster home, I remember the foster mother just being very open with me and in a loving way, like not in a bad way at all. It was very loving, and I would thank her for that this day. She was just amazing. She just told me, like, I'm not your mom. I'd love to be, but someone is going to adopt you, and you'll live with somebody else. So from a very, very young age, I knew shame. I knew that I was different. I knew that this is not what everyone experienced. And because of that, I don't think I ever really was a child. Like, I didn't have that innocence. It was always that behind my eyes, you can know that something very bad happened, probably because of how shy or just different I was. Anyhow, so I also remember meeting my parents for the first time, and that was very traumatic. I remember being at a foster care, facility and being brought to another building where I was in a room with toys, and there was a playhouse, and I went into the playhouse and I think to hide. I remember holding a doll or whatever, and that I remember my parents looking in at me through that little playhouse, and I just thought like, oh, like just scared and terrified, and that feeling never left, that terrified feeling. And I got really good at hiding that scared, terrified feeling by masking. I, in the past couple of years, I've gotten an ADHD diagnosis, and I just thought it was so normal to just feel like you didn't belong anywhere. That you just had all these things that were very different about you, and luckily with treatment now I know, like, not only did I have the trauma that I was going through, but I also was undiagnosed ADHD. So, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through life as a child thinking you don't belong. So many years, it was very hard for me to get through. And I want to say I shut down completely. As an adolescent, I just turned inside because of so many things. So many things had happened, since I was adopted. Um, I had gone through abuse even after I was adopted, and I almost felt like maybe there was something inside me that showed people that that's what I deserved, but it's not. So, with all of that, that's part of my origin story and all that I have time for today. And it's a lot to unpack. And even though I'm healed, I mean, God, even to say it out loud is so much. So I appreciate you being here. I hope you understand and can see that it's okay. You can come out the other side and be so different and know, like, that nothing can break you permanently. Life goes on and you can stay and you can get back up. So I encourage you to do that. Drop a comment, like and subscribe. And I hope, if anything, that this made you feel less alone. Bye. Thank you.